Narrated Amr bin Yahya. On the authority of his father, my uncle used to perform ablution extravagantly, and once he asked Abdullah bin Zayd to tell him how he had seen the Prophet performing ablution. He asked for an earthenware pot containing water, and poured water from it on his hands, and washed them thrice, and then put his hand in the earthenware pot and rinsed his mouth, and washed his nose by putting water in it, and then blowing it out thrice with one handful of water. He again put his hand in the water, and took a handful of water, and washed his face thrice, then washed his hands up to the elbows twice, and took water with his hand, and passed it over his head from front to back, and then from back to front, and then washed his feet up to the ankles, and said, I saw the Prophet performing ablution in that way. Narrated Thabit. Anas said, the Prophet asked for water, and a tumbler with a broad base, and no so deep, containing a small quantity of water, was brought to him, whereby he put his fingers in it. Anas further said, noticed the water springing out from amongst his fingers. Anas added, estimated that the people who performed ablution with it numbered between 70 to 80. Narrated Anas, the Prophet used to take a bath with 1 saw up to 5 muds. 1 saw equals muds of water, and used to perform ablution with 1 mud of water. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas said, the Prophet passed wet hands over his cuffs, socks made from thick fabric or leather. Abdullah bin Umar asked Umar about it. Umar replied in the affirmative, and added, whenever Sa'd narrates a hadith from the Prophet, there is no need to ask anyone else about it. Narrated Al-Mughira bin Shuba. Once Allah's messenger went out to answer the call of nature, and I followed him with a tumbler containing water, and when he finished, I poured water, and he performed ablution, and passed weapons over his cuffs, socks made from thick fabric or leather. Narrated Shfar bin Amr bin Umayyah ad-Damri. My father said, I saw the Prophet passing wet hands over his cuffs, socks made from thick fabric or leather. Narrated Shfar bin Amr. My father said, I saw the Prophet passing wet hands over his turban and cuffs, socks made from thick fabric or leather. Narrated Urwa bin al-Mughira. My father said, once I was in the company of the Prophet on a journey, and I dashed to take off his cuffs, socks made from thick fabric or leather. He ordered me to leave them as he had put them after performing ablution, so he passed wet hands over them. Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas. Allah's messenger ate a piece of cooked mutton from the shoulder region, and prayed without repeating ablution. Narrated Shfar bin Amr bin Umayyah. My father said, I saw Allah's messenger taking a piece of cooked mutton from the shoulder region, and then he was called for prayer. He put his knife down and prayed without repeating ablution. Narrated Suwaid bin al-Numan. In the year of the conquest of Habar, I went with Allah's messenger till we reached Saba, a place near Habar, where Allah's messenger offered the Asr prayer and asked for food. Nothing but soik was brought. He ordered it to be moistened with water. He and all of us ate it, and the Prophet got up for the evening prayer, Maghrib prayer, rinsed his mouth with water, and we did the same, and he then prayed without repeating the ablution. Narrated Maymuna. The Prophet ate a piece of mutton from the shoulder region, and then prayed without repeating the ablution. Narrated Ibn Abbas, Allah's Messenger drank milk, rinsed his mouth, and said, "It has fat."